Last week, Donald Trump made a campaign stop in Arizona, sitting down to talk with Tucker Carlson, where the pair discussed their mutual antipathy for Liz Cheney.
Is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually.
Cheney, of course, is the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney and firm within the neocon wing of the Republican Party. So it is no surprise that she's actively campaigning for the Democrat. It is also no secret that Liz Cheney hates Donald Trump and oversaw the sham, illegally constituted January 6th committee. It was in that office that she violated several federal and D.C. laws in communicating with sworn witness Cassidy Hutchinson, off the record expressly to skirt Hutchinson's attorney protections. Of course, that is not Trump's biggest beef with the woman.
Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries.
It's true that Liz Cheney follows decades of bipartisan warmongering, from Bush 1 all the way through Barack Obama, made especially egregious by the adoption of soft Vietnam-style rules of engagement and half measures.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
Well, that hit the internet the next day and went completely nuts, with some people claiming to be convinced that Donald Trump had just called for Liz Cheney to be killed.
I don't think you even need to call it fired upon. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad.
4 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump is escalating his violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
Your reaction to what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney?
Mr. Trump was literally going after someone who doesn't agree with him. So it shouldn't be a surprise when people come on TV and feel the need to agree with him.
As 9 barrels, when he says 9 barrels shooting at her, that obviously evokes images of a firing squad. It evokes images of an execution.
Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her.
But of course, that wasn't the real story.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
He was making a crude, if well-worn argument that often comes from the anti-war left and that I heard repeatedly during the Bush years about politicians who vote to authorize wars being forced to fight in them. It's called the chicken hawk argument. It's been around probably since Vietnam or maybe before.
Even Bill Maher called the lie out.
I woke up today to the headline that Trump had called for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. And this is what I really don't like about the media. No, he didn't.
He did not.
You don't have to move me to not like Donald Trump. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, we'll send tens of thousands of troops right into the mouth of the enemy. Now, of course, he expresses himself horribly. He has to add, she's a stupid person. This is exactly what hippies always said. This is exactly what peaceniks always said. This is Fortunate Son, the song. It's like, you know what? It's very easy to sit in your building and send young men to die. Don't lie to me. I don't like Donald Trump. Don't lie to me and tell me he wants in front of a firing squad.
Eventually, CNN and even Jonah Goldberg had to come out to recant their positions because they were obviously lying. The most galling thing to me is the utter hypocrisy. Like Maher, it is the lie, but not just this singular lie. It is the whole empire of lies. People want to pearl-clutch about Trump, crying about his violent rhetoric, but this is the context Trump finds himself in. It's true. Trump is coarse and rude and dead common, but he also speaks the language of the moment in a way that almost anyone can understand. And in this case, he's calling for peace, and echoing the words from 1968 and Black Sabbath. Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Why should they go and fight? They leave that to the poor. At least that's the view from my back porch. Let me know in the comments section if you disagree. I'd love to have that kind of conversation, and we'll catch you next time on Back Porch News.